This hour by Frederick Remington, fully cooked, ready-to-eat bacon. Exclusive, no refrigeration, 10-year extended shelf life bacon. The thickest, meatiest, center-cut bacon in the industry at fullycookedbacon.com.
The stocks discussed on Wall Street Raw are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering on acting on information, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice.
What kingdom has sent you?
The kingdom of the Most High.
Nothing you have ever experienced can prepare you for the unbridled carnage you're about to witness. Right. Super Bowl, the World Series, they don't know what pressure is. In this building, it's either kill or be killed. Right. You make no friends in the pits and you take no prisoners. 1 minute, you're up $500,000 in soybeans, and the next, boom, your kids don't go to college and they've repossessed your Bentley. Are you with me?
The Genesis Communication Network is proud to bring you Wall Street Raw with nationally recognized market timer and previous Wall Street Week elf, Mark Leibovit, welcoming you on board his financial time machine. And here is the elf himself, Mark Leibovit.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to Wall Street Raw on this Saturday, August 19th. No other day like it, and pleased that you're able to tune in on this Saturday morning. Very exciting show for you here today. We have a lot of special guests, as we always try to do. In a few minutes, we're going to join Jeff Friedland from Intiva and OWC Pharmaceutical, talking about Israeli cannabis. We have Kyle Dennis and Jeff Bishop from RagingBull.com joining us on segment 2. Our old friend Sinclair No from EatTheBankers.com, and Harry Boxer from TheTechTrader.com will be joining us on segment 3. We have Henry Weingarten in the green room, and Arch Crawford's coming back. He was on the show last week on an encore, and the week before that talking about the most powerful astro event of the year, and of course I'm referring to the solar eclipse coming up on Monday. Has a tie-in with the stock market, and that's what Arch does and has been doing for nearly 50 years. Very exciting week here in the markets. No great surprise. We've been telling you the markets would be under pressure. Looks like they will continue to be so for about another 30 days or so based on historical cyclical patterns. We saw the Bitcoin surge to new record highs on Tuesday, reaching $4,483 a coin, which has been mind-blowing for most people who are still disbelieve that cryptocurrencies have their place in the world. Gold got up to about 1301 intraday, actually 1301.60, so moving higher as we overall expect. Not to say as a straight line event. Silver got up to 1741, still looking pretty positive there. And in a nutshell, we're still in a corrective period. It should be interesting to see what happens on the solar eclipse Monday. A lot of talk about its effect on the markets either way, but the trend should be more or less down, I think, in the weeks ahead. So that's sort of where we're at. And we don't want to keep our guest waiting, so we're going to join our good friend Jeff Friedland. And Jeff is really an emerging market pioneer. His firm, Friedland Global Capital, was one of the first American investment banks to establish presence in China and is now on the front lines in the cannabis industry as an investor and business owner. He's author, speaker. He's CEO of a privately held company, Intiva, which has an operating business investments in the cannabis industry in California, Colorado, Israel, and Canada. He's also a member of the advisory board of OWC Pharmaceutical Research, and we're really happy to have Jeff back on the show. Thank you for joining us, Jeff.
It's great to be here today, Mark.
Thank you on a Saturday morning. I know you could be doing other things on a Saturday morning, but thank you for joining us. So, Jeff, tell us a little bit about what's happening in the emerging cannabis market, and particularly what's going on in Israel, where all that great research is occurring. That's really, I think, what our listeners want to hear about.
Well, I think that, most people aren't really aware of the role that Israel has had in cannabis research, and that goes back several decades to the work done by Professor Raphael Mechoulam, who at the time was a young chemist at Hebrew University in Jerusalem. And he isolated THC being the psychoactive cannabinoid that, both gives us the high as well as providing many medical benefits. So Meshulam did that work really, really early on in Israel. As we know, cannabis is illegal federally in the United States, so it hasn't been possible to do research in the United States. And some of Meshulam's work was then funded after he did that by NIH, the National Institutes of Health, here in the United States, the U.S. government funding the Israelis to do research that couldn't be done here, Mark. So that's the background on this.
And you're involved with these two very interesting companies. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing to help promote.
I first got involved in Israel back in the early summer of 2014, which, Mark, seems like ages ago in this cannabis industry, but came to the conclusion that and saw that Israel was where all the science was being done, and now there's being some science done in other places, some being done here in the United States, despite the difficulty and legal challenges, and some being done in Canada, and some obviously being done in Europe. But Israel still is where I believe most of the real pharmaceutical research is being done, as well as a lot of the research on the plant side itself as far as genetics. So Intiva, the company you mentioned, Intiva Inc., invested in a couple Israeli companies back in 2014. We're still owners of OWC Pharmaceutical Research, that's OWCP. I'm an advisor to the company, as you mentioned. And, they're doing some interesting things. It's a publicly traded company here in the U.S. OWC has a proprietary psoriasis cream that they're seeking to commercialize and market, and they're also doing some other very interesting research, very early stage and preclinical on multiple myeloma, that they're hoping to continue with. It's interesting, Mark, that especially when we look at over-the-counter stocks here in the U.S. or even Canadian cannabis stocks, there's not a lot of patient investors out there. People want to see news releases every week, and I think as this cannabis industry, Mark, proceeds, people have got to understand that if you're talking about where I think the real money is going to be made, which is on real pharmaceutical research, you have to be patient. You're not going to have news out every week. You're talking about preclinical work, clinical work. You're talking about getting drugs approved as real drugs, as opposed to what we find here in the U.S. I live obviously in Colorado, walking into a marijuana store and getting recommendations on medical marijuana from a bud tender who is usually very passionate, but maybe didn't graduate high school. So there's really going to be a shakeout and a break between, so-called medical marijuana offered here in the U.S. by state license regimes and what companies in Israel and elsewhere can do on what the real pharmaceutical side. Because
Jeff, we only have about 30 seconds, so tell us a little bit about your book. You had this great book, The World's Most Misunderstood Plant.
My book, Marijuana, The World's Most Misunderstood Plant, I came out with a couple of years ago. It's a good introduction to the plant, the history, medical side. It's available in print and Kindle at Amazon. It's sort of become, Mark, as you know, my business card, and I wrote it because I go into a meeting a few years ago. Nobody knew anything about this plant because the industry had been illegal for so long. So it's a quick intro to the plant, Mark.
If our listeners want to get in touch with you, Jeff, what's the best way?
The best thing is Jeffrey, Jeffrey, at jeffreyfriedland.com. That's Jeffrey at jeffreyfriedland.com. Or they can phone me at 646-450-8909.
Thank you, Jeff.
450-8909.
Thanks, Jeff, for joining us. We'll talk to you again real soon. Jeffrey Friedland from Friedland Capital. Don't touch your dial, folks. We'll be back after the break with Kyle Dennis and Jeff Bishop.
You're listening to Wall Street Raw with Mark Leibovit. Go to wallstreetrawradio.com for information on Mark's newsletters and products. Stay tuned. Mark will be right back.
Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the best for you and your family. Since 2005, thousands have depended on Berkey purified water. The Berkey Guy provides the lowest price filtration systems in every size for incredibly delicious water now and in an emergency. Get to GoBerkey.com or call 877-886-3653. 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, the inventor of MyPillow, and like all of you out there, I had problems sleeping. Pillows would go flat, I would flip-flop all night long, I would wake up with a sore neck, maybe a headache, or feel like I needed a nap even though I slept 8 hours. When I invented MyPillow, I wanted it to where you could move the patented fill to give you the exact support you need as an individual, regardless of sleep position. MyPillow will get you into that deep REM sleep faster, and you will stay there longer. It's not about how much time we spend in bed, it's about how much of that quality sleep we get. I do all of my own manufacturing right here in the United States. I have a 10-year warranty. You can wash and dry my pillow, and I give you a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. And here's my best offer ever. You can buy one of my pillows and get one absolutely free.
Go to mypillow.com or call 800-870-0305 and use promo code GCN. That's mypillow.com or 800-870-0305 with promo code GCN.
Love or loathe him, Donald J. Trump is our 45th president. There is no denying now that Trump will go down in history, both despised and admired. Commemorate Trump's presidency with your very own Trump Silver Bust from TrumpSilverStatue.com. This museum-quality heirloom Trump Silver Statue bust is hand-cast from 20 troy ounces of silver, a great investment. From TrumpSilverStatue.com. Loathed or loved, own a valuable piece of Trump's legacy. Get your solid silver Trump bust today at TrumpSilverStatue.com.
North Korea openly threatens the U.S. and launches a new missile every other week. Their warhead of choice? Electromagnetic pulse. Such an event would cripple the U.S. power grid for years and leave millions in the dark. Are you ready? You can be with a Solarc EMP-hardened solar generator. Solarc works day in and day out to keep all of your essentials protected. That means you can have peace of mind knowing your power will be there when you most need it. Visit solarc.us to see EMP testing. That's solarc.us. Energy insurance for your family.
It's been said, any society is only 3 missed meals away from chaos. Those times may be near. Think about it. Our country faces multiple terrorist threats and aggressions from Russia and North Korea. Social unrest and violent marches yet again may lead to looting of stores and city shutdowns. And a crumbling infrastructure leaves our power grid vulnerable to long-term outages from a single cyber attack. When the chaos from any one of these threats arises, the government knows it can't provide during a widespread national emergency. That's why you need your own plan for self-reliance. That's where My Patriot Supply comes in. Get a 4-week survival food supply for only $99. That includes breakfast, lunches, and dinners. Order online at preparewithgcn.com. $99 for 4 weeks of survival food that tastes like homemade cooking and lasts up to 25 years from My Patriot Supply. Get your kits today at preparewithgcn.com. Free shipping is included. Preparewithgcn.com.
Welcome aboard. Your new science fiction adventure is ready to launch. Discover an amazing journey at GalaxyQuestBooks.com. Start a new sci-fi adventure with the Guardian series, a classic sci-fi mystery that starts 500 years in the future. From author D. Arthur Gusner. Series available from Barnes & Noble or Amazon as paperback or ebooks. GalaxyQuestBooks.com, where the adventure begins.
Think positive. Never show any sign of weakness. Always go for the throat. Buy low, sell high. Fear, that's the other guy's problem.
Welcome back to the Wall Street Raw Radio Show with Mark Leibovit, your time machine for the financial markets. Want to know more? Go to wallstreetrawradio.com. Now, here's the elf himself, Mark Leibovit.
Welcome back, our good friend Kyle Dennis. who's the Chief Biotech Strategist for RagingBull.com. Kyle's been kind enough to spend another couple of minutes with us on our program this Saturday. And, Kyle, we had some interesting stocks we talked about last couple of weeks, in particular Nectar Therapeutics and Amicus Therapeutics. That's NKTR and FOLD. I think you want to update those a little bit.
Yeah, so mainly I wanted to update on a stock, Amicus Therapeutics, and we talked about that FOLD. They saw some really large call buying activity, which I thought was really interesting since they have some phase 3 data coming out in the late third quarter. And since that call activity, the stock has risen from about $11.50 when we talked about it last time on your show to over $12.50. Actually, a few days ago, hit a high of almost 13. So seeing some nice activity in that one so far, ahead of their phase 3 epidermolysis data and their phase 1/2 Pompe disease data, both which are coming out in the late third quarter. And then NKTR also is up a little bit since we talked about it, and they'll be presenting their cancer data at a conference called ESMO conference on September 9th. So I'm happy that both are performing very well, and I just wanted to note that call activity on Fold, which I thought was really interesting.
Right, and what's great is that these are not overnight trades, so our listeners can watch as they move higher into these events. That's great news. What about EIGR? You had mentioned off air that you want to talk about that.
All right, so EIGR is Eiger Therapeutics, and full disclosure, I have a small position in Eiger that I just bought yesterday. But Eiger Biopharmaceuticals, they have a lot of data coming up. A phase 2 trial for hepatitis delta virus, which is going to come out on October 20th to the 24th at a conference. Mm-hmm. And then they have some phase 2 pulmonary arterial hypertension data coming out at the beginning of next year, January 8th to 11th at the big J.P. Morgan Healthcare Conference. So those are two things I'm looking at there. And I'm looking to build into a position over the next 2 to 3 weeks to get a little bit of a bigger position ahead of that October 20th to 24th data that they'll be releasing. So I like that opportunity there.
That's great. And for our listeners, Kyle is the biotech strategist for Raging Bull, but he also is co-founder of biotechbreakouts.com, where he seeks to capture big percentage gains with minimizing risk. So it's great to have you on the show. Thank you, Kyle. Dennis, and our listeners can reach you at ragingbull.com or biobreakouts.com, correct?
Biotech Breakouts, but Raging Bull is correct as well. You can reach me over there.
Thank you for joining us, Kyle Dennis. We'll be back with us next week with an update. Have a good weekend. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you too, Mark.
Welcome back, Jeff Bishop, to Wall Street Raw. Jeff is the founder of several popular financial websites, including TopStockPicks.com and RagingBull.com. He's also a lifetime member of the Elite Mensa organization and holds 2 degrees from the University of Texas in finance and economics, and he's a top-ranked, widely followed author on Seeking Alpha. Really a pleasure having you back on the show, Jeff.
Hey, great. Thanks for having me, Mark.
Well, last week we talked about the VIX and UVXY because the market got a little overdone to the downside, and you were looking for a little reversal there, which did happen.
Yeah, I mean, volatility had a huge decline early last week after a major run going into the end of the week. So if you were able to catch a short on volatility within a couple of days, you could have made a huge score. I know a lot of our members got big profits on UVXY puts and also with trading XIV, which was the ETF to short with.
And now, since then, the market, as you know, took a big nosedive here the last couple of days, and we saw a spike in the VIX. So are we back in the same position again, or no?
Yeah, I don't think this is one that you really want to fade too much. The volatility typically will take a big run like it just did. It was coming off such low levels that it made a huge run off of that as shorts started to scramble. And then it dipped early last week. And then we're seeing a little rally again here trying to test the recent highs. But I don't think this is the time you really want to get too aggressive on the VIX shorts here. So I would stay away from it right now. I think right now you might want to look at shorting bonds. I think they're a little too far ahead of themselves at the moment. So we're looking at puts on the TLT, which is it tracks the bond index. And we're looking at a short-term pullback in bonds. I think the TLT could see about a $2 pullback in the next week or two.
There's also an inverse ETF for the bonds, too. Isn't that TNT? Would that be a play?
Yep, TNT is a great one. I like TBT as a trade on the short side, too, for short-term trading.
Okay. So I guess investors jumped in as a hedge against the market decline, and does that imply that the stocks might rally here a little bit?
I think there's a good chance they could rally a little bit, but fundamentally and technically, I think the market is broken here. We traded well below the 200 hourly, and as a short-term trader, you really have to look at that indicator. We've clearly gone behind the 200 hourly, which is the first time that's happened in quite a while, so I think the market did a lot of damage here. I would short any rally in the market, so I would not be too aggressive here if you're looking to take profits if you want on these pops, and if you're really aggressive, look to short these rallies. I don't think they're going to hold too long.
Thank you for joining us again, Jeff Bishop from TopStockPicks.com and RagingBull.com, and we'll have you back next week, and really appreciate you spending a few moments with us on our show.
All right. Have a great week. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff, and thank you, Kyle, both from RagingBull.com. Both are sponsored interviews, but great information here. We've been following their stocks and their recommendations in the last few weeks. Most have worked out really, really well. So, top analysts, top traders, and, what I also appreciate is the fact that it's not necessarily flips. You're not in and out. They're taking, in many instances, several days to several weeks views in their positions. Meanwhile, we have still a lineup here for you, folks. Nothing has changed at Wall Street Raw. We do our best to keep everything active. This is my financial, political, spiritual, and even musical time machine program. So that's what you hear in a lot of the music and stuff. We have a lot of fun here, but we also try to bring you up to speed in some interesting and sometimes off-the-wall interviews. And one of those, of course, is my good friend Arch Crawford coming up again in segment 4. Known Arch for decades, and it's financial astrology, but also our good friend Henry Weingarten, who'll be joining us in that segment, also does that. And the accuracy of these two folks is incredible. And I learned about their work years ago when I was a floor trader on the Chicago Board Options Exchange. So we try to keep an open mind here, looking at all interviews and potential. Not necessarily what you're going to hear on CNBC or CNN, folks. You'll hear it here on Wall Street Raw. Don't touch your dial. We'll be back right after the break.
Go to WallStreetRawRadio.com for more information on Mark's newsletters and products. Stay tuned. Mark will be right back.
Here we are talking about the CIA, the NSA, and top intelligence agencies. All of our sensitive secrets can be hacked. We now know that safety and privacy of our finances are over. I mean, how safe and private do you think your finances are sitting in the cyber world? Who hacked them? How about your stock accounts, your saving accounts, even your 401ks? Frankly, that's why I turned to Swiss America for answers about protecting the savage household finances and privacy. One book explained it all. Don't bank on it. 800-289-2646, 800-289-2646. It's a free book on exactly the topic we're talking about. And you'll learn how to protect your money against what even the CIA cannot protect. Please do it now. It's free. It's a book. 800-289-2646, 800-289-2646, 800-289-2646 for a free copy of the book. Don't bank on it. 800-289-2646.
Warning. If you've recently declared bankruptcy, you're going to want to cover your ears. Because there's an alternative to bankruptcy, and it could be better than you'd ever think possible. But if you've already declared bankruptcy and have missed this opportunity, you'll want to cover your ears now. Here it is. Right now, the company that has resolved more credit card debt than anyone in the U.S. may be able to settle your debt, too. You could resolve your debt with one low monthly program payment. If you call right now and qualify, Freedom Debt Relief will show you how low your monthly program payment could be for free. Call now, 1-800-660-1297. That's 1-800-660-1297. If you're struggling with debt, this could be your answer. And the bigger your debt, the more money you could save. To find out for free how much of your hard-earned money Freedom Debt Relief could help you save, call now, 1-800-660-1297. 1-800-660-1297. 1-800-660-1297.
Heart disease is on the rise. Clogged arteries, high blood pressure, and high cholesterol levels may not be fully detected by you, but the symptoms are there. Loss of energy, blood sugar spikes and drops, poor circulation, and irregular heartbeat are just a few of these that can alert you that something is wrong. Hear how Heart and Body Extract is making a difference in thousands of people's lives across America.
My blood pressure has normalized. My diabetes has totally improved.
Everyone is telling me now how much healthier I look, and I'm telling everyone how much healthier I feel. I recommend Heart and Body Extract to everyone.
Anybody over 40 in the North American continent should be using this product as a preventative to keep their cardiovascular system healthy.
Order your 2-month supply today by calling 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. Or order online, hbextract.com. Heart and Body Extract, 866-295-5305 or hbextract.com.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-765-9681 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-765-9681. Again, that's 800-765-9681.
Welcoming back our good friend and regular guest, Sinclair No from KFNN 1510 Phoenix and author of the incomparable blog, EatTheBankers.com. Good morning, Sinclair. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Mark. Always a pleasure.
Well, off air, we're talking about Jamie Dimon, and I know we always talk about Chase Bank and banks behaving badly, or maybe this week they were good because there was no striking story. But what's going on with Jamie and the Business Council?
Well, as you probably know, Jamie Dimon is chairman of the Business Roundtable.
Okay.
And Dimon was one of many business leaders this week who came out and voiced their opinion on the situation in Charlottesville. Dimon said the racist behavior on display by these perpetrators of hate should be condemned and has no place in the country that draws strength from our diversity and humanity. Well, that was the Business Roundtable. Meanwhile, we saw the President's Manufacturing Council disband, the Strategy and Policy Council disband, the Infrastructure Council never really even got going. You had a diverse group of business leaders, from Intel to Merck to 3M to the ACLU to General Motors to Blackstone Group and BlackRock, on and on and on, one after another, basically saying we can't put up with the president on this issue, and they would step away from it. This is a very toxic issue for the Trump administration, and I've never seen a group of business people serving in an advisory role like this and then stepping away. I tried to research some corporate history, and apparently this has never happened before in this country. So, I mean, you've got a situation where Jamie Dimon from J.P. Morgan Chase is giving lessons in morality. Right? Okay.
Yeah, the question is, would they have done this with Obama? It seems like this divisiveness is just beyond the pale. And look at the Republican Party not even supporting their own president. But we can spend hours talking about that subject, so it's wild.
I think that it's just a matter of Trump crossed the line here. And I think if Obama had done this, they would have done the same thing. Racism is not good business. Plain and simple. It is bad business, and these are business people. First and foremost, these are not humanitarians. These are not, saints. They're business people. Racism is bad business.
Okay, that makes sense. Meanwhile, this week, Sinclair, we had the Federal Reserve releasing its minutes. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on there. And we had some interesting comments coming from Vice Chairman Stanley Fischer afterwards.
Yeah, as we know, the Federal Reserve in their last FOMC meeting left interest rates unchanged. They released the minutes of the July 25th and 26th FOMC meeting. It appears that they are going to be ready to start reducing their $4.5 trillion portfolio of Treasury bonds and mortgage-backed securities. The decision to leave rates unchanged at the last meeting was unanimous. The problem is inflation, or the lack thereof. The Fed has been wanting to normalize monetary policy, but inflation just is not going along with that scenario. We've got some decent economic growth, not runaway, and certainly inflation should, you would think, be a little bit higher now, but it's just not. So the Federal Reserve may have to rethink raising interest rates, perhaps at the September meeting, perhaps at the December meeting. It may get pushed into next year, for that matter, before we see another one. I think they're going to go ahead with trimming the portfolio, but it's looking a little bit iffy if they do an interest rate hike in December. Meanwhile, Fed Vice Chairman Stan Fischer called efforts on Washington to rescind regulations mind-boggling. He said it took 80 years after 1930 to have another financial crisis that could have been of the magnitude of what we had 10 years ago. And now 10 years after that, everybody wants to go back to the status quo before the great financial crisis. And he said, I find that extremely dangerous and extremely short-sighted.
Sinclair, we ran out of time. Thank you so much. Great insights, Sinclair Noah from KFNN 1510 Phoenix and author of the blog EatTheBankers.com. Speak to you next Saturday. Have a great week, Sinclair. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Welcome back, our good friend and regular guest, Harry Boxer from the TechTrader.com. As you may already know, but I'll let you know again, it's a live trading room featuring his live trading alerts and technical market analysis. And Harry's only been doing this about 50 years. He's a great stock picker and author of the book Profitable Day in Swing Trading, which was named by Stock Traders Almanac as a 2015 Best Investment Book of the Year. Harry, thank you again for joining us.
My pleasure being here, of course.
Okay, so we had a big nosedive in the market, and we're following that seasonal pattern we had speculated about, and doesn't appear we're out of the woods yet. So how do you read it?
Well, exactly. This is nothing but a technical bounce as of now. The market was oversold on a short-term basis. For now, I think there's an opportunity to day trade. We had a 9-point trade on a UVXY yesterday. I was, if you're on the right side, it doesn't really matter. We're day traders at TechTrader.com and swing traders, but from a day trade standpoint, there's always stocks moving up and down in the market, so we can take advantage of. Now, from a market standpoint, I got a little bit oversold. We got down at the bottom of the channels. This is actually the fifth wave down off the high on the NDX. Nasdaq, the Nasdaq 100, the S&P though is a little bit different configuration. It looks more like a three-wave decline. Either way, I expected the market to bounce, but I'm also concerned about the time of year. Several cycle tops, and there's a lot of other factors coming all into the kind of a juxtaposition at this point that would indicate some extreme volatility. And then there's, of course, an eclipse on Monday. You never know what we're going to get with this market. But I think the close today will be important. Right now it looks like a very strong rally underway. We got all the indices back in the plus column, and NASDAQ 100 is up nearly 26, and that's a 52-point rally off the low. So we've gone from down 26 to up 26.
What about the gold market? We had a nice little pop. Gold finally got back to 1,300.
Yeah, and it backed off, which is normal psychological. Some of the stocks that I just actually put out a swing trade today on Newmont. I haven't put a gold stock out in a long time, but I just like the base to break out the little flag it developed. I think you'll see that stock at 36 and 42 in the next few months. Those are my targets. I also feel like, the JNUG is tradable on a daily basis, and of course, we're following that little stock USA Gold. But there's a lot of gold opportunities, golden opportunities in stock and commodity-related ETFs as well on a daily basis. Then there's a lot of low-price tech stocks I think are still undervalued.
We have about 30 seconds. You have a couple that you can mention.
Yeah, I like KOPN, Copen. I think the story's great. The chart is building up nicely. It's in a consolidation frame of mind. I think for a stock that's trading about 375, it could double from here over the next several months. And also AUDC, audio codes. I think there's something brewing there that could get this to 9 or 10 pretty soon. It's trading at 6 3/4. So there's opportunities out there. Right now, as I speak to you, the markets are at the rally highs for the day and pulling away. Pretty interesting day.
Thank you, Harry. Harry Boxer from the TechTrader.com, and we'll tune in next week and see what's cooking at the TechTrader trading desk. Thanks again.
Yep, look forward to talking to you again. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Harry, and of course, thank you, Sinclair. And don't touch your dial. Update from two great financial astrologers, my good friend Henry Weingarten, who's on our show regularly, and Arch Crawford back talking about the exciting, and this is a century event, folks. Of course, the eclipse on Monday. Don't touch your dial. Thanks for joining us on Wall Street Raw.
You're listening to Wall Street Raw with Mark Leibovit. Go to wallstreetrawradio.com for information on Mark's newsletters and products. Stay tuned. Mark will be right back.
High-performance investors and traders use superior financial tools to achieve superior returns. You have that tool with Mark Leibovit, nationally renowned top market timer, legendary television Wall Street Week elf, and nightly business report market monitor, who shares with you his unique market tools and commentary at wallstreetraw.com. Here, Mark provides you with his latest ideas on how to help build and protect your wealth and help you avoid the next big market tsunami. Mark has a special free gift for listeners of his Wall Street Raw radio show. Go to wallstreetraw.com and sign up for his free monthly Cannabis Vice News Raw report. While there, go ahead and sign up for his free monthly Gold News Raw report. Both are totally free. No credit card information is required, and no one will call. Sign up today for your free Cannabis Vice News Raw report and Gold News Raw report at wallstreetraw.com.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business, so make sure that they create a positive impression with ReputationDefender.com. What the Internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with ReputationDefender.com. Call 800-831-0771 now. That's 800-831-0771 for your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with ReputationDefender.com. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-831-0771 to learn more. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Or visit ReputationDefender.com.
I'm Maria Brous, Director of Media and Community Relations with Publix Supermarkets. Did you know that premature birth is the #1 killer of babies in the United States? Or that survivors can face a lifetime of serious health problems? But you can help. Join me and Publix for the March for Babies Walk. We'll work together to raise funds for research and programs that help the March of Dimes fight premature birth and birth defects and improve the health of moms and babies. Start your team today at marchforbabies.org.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-774-3149 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-774-3149. Again, that's 800-774-3149.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. I'm here to tell you about GCNtelecare.com, a team of board-certified doctors assisting you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Within 15 minutes of registration, care your family can afford. Revolutionizing the healthcare industry, virtual consulting providing diagnosis of non-emergency medical issues by phone or secure video on computer or smart mobile devices. GCNtelecare.com, virtual care anywhere.
Responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
There is no freedom without the law.
Get it? Got it? Good.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw and the final segment with Mark Leibovit. Now, here's the elf himself.
Welcome back, our good friend and regular guest, Henry Weingarten from the Astrologers Fund. Henry is kind enough to give us a little bit of a market update each week and making some terrific calls, including the nosedive we had this past week in the market, Henry.
Yes, no question about it, plus the little rally on Monday and Tuesday that we had.
As you said, we're singing along, and the market's playing a song here for you.
Absolutely, good question. So there's a couple of questions. Of course, is how long is it going to be down for, and what is it going to? And when do we see 21,500? When do we see 21,000? That type of thing. Well, first of all, we're going to know that basically with the eclipse coming up Monday, and it's not going to be what most people think, but in any case, between now and the first, that we expect one significant sort of down move. So that's sort of coming up. We're pleased to see gold over 1,300. It took the test of Monday and Tuesday quite well. But it's got a lot of resistance at 1310, 1325 area. So basically, it's, if you hedged yourself as we recommended, you're fine. If you didn't, you can raise, some cash. You can go to sleep and ignore it all because, we'll be up at the end of October and November. And until then, it's summertime. So markets go up and down. It's great for traders, but, we're more likely to go down than up short term, but medium term we're more likely to go up and down. So what do you like? What do you want to do?
Let's talk a little bit about silver. Silver's been underperforming gold a little bit, or is that still following your scenario?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, copper's done a lot better than silver, but it's an economic metal. So as long as people have this foolish idea that the U.S. economy is not doing well, though the global economy, they'll keep silver down. But as time goes on, I think they'll realize that nonsense about that the economies are weak won't be the case, and then silver will move up. I mean, it's more likely to be up next year than this year. But gold is, remember, silver is to gold what the NASDAQ is to the market. So it's down, but I mean, it's a great place to buy. $16, $17 silver is certainly going to belongs at least to 20, so you have a 10% move, whereas gold belongs around 1380, so you only have a 5% move. So on the upside, you have more on the silvers there if you want to hold it 6 months to a year, for sure.
What about crude oil?
Crude oil under, basically 48 is a critical area. Crude oil is going to do very well fourth quarter. If you could wait till, November, December, October. Until then, it's, maybe we'll test down to 44, maybe 48 will hold. But if you're willing to take a 3-month view, you'll make money on that, absolutely. I mean, it's got some very powerful stuff next year. It's got some very powerful stuff on the fourth quarter. So, the stocks haven't gone down that much for good reason, but in this move down, they might. I mean, we certainly like it. We certainly think they're good to buy. I mean, there's a lot of good commodity stuff. Copper's very good next year, and it's done very well, surprisingly, even earlier. The market's been anticipating it. So there's a lot of places you can put your money to work, but you've got to have some cash to do it.
Thank you again, Henry, for the great insights. Henry Weingarten from the Astrologers Fund will be back with us again next week, and thank you again for joining us.
My pleasure.
Welcome back, my good friend for many years and nationally and internationally recognized market strategist, Arch Crawford, joining us again here on Wall Street Raw this Saturday morning. Arch, thank you again. And I know last time we spoke about the big solar eclipse coming up Monday, but update us there if you have time, and let's talk a little bit about the market.
Okay. Well, on the eclipse, we have a minor Mars-Uranus aspect on the same day. So I wouldn't be surprised if that day is violent in some fashion somewhere in the world. The fact that the eclipse is going all the way across America is that we're going to be involved in much of the meaning of the eclipse, which to me, the eclipse has some good sides to it. It is the best possible aspect to the planet Uranus, and a good aspect, 1/7 of the circle to Jupiter. So it's not going to be all bad, but I do believe there'll be a great deal of violence involved in, I said in the letter, 10 to 17 days before and after. In particular, and then later when other planets aspect the eclipse point, and I wrote about all that in my August newsletter. In the meantime, we got a short-term sell signal on the stock market on the 4th of August when we had 3 days in a row with the New York exchange new lows being over 40 3 days in a row. And we also got MACD sells on both I think it was the Dow and the S&P, but not the NASDAQ. The MACD is a momentum study, and on the daily charts, they went negative quite some time ago now. So that's my short-term opinion is going with that. We're short in the S&P in the newsletter, and the S&P E-minis on the hotlines. And I happen to have a few puts myself, but there's no guarantee this will continue, but I believe it will, because Monday could be rather startling in some ways.
Arch, really appreciate the insight. We have a short segment. Really appreciate the update, and everybody's withholding their breath for Monday's eclipse, so thank you for the insight. Arch Crawford from Crawford Perspectives. If you want more information, go to crawfordperspectives.com. Thank you, Arch.
Very good, sir.
Thank you, Arch, and thank you, Henry. And we're going to wind up our show here, basically, talking about, the markets. And here we are. It's a big time of year. It's a time of year where we normally expect some volatility, and we're getting it. And the question is, how much to the downside? It may not be as much as everyone realizes, as Henry says, and I believe this is just a correction of nominal importance, unless there's some extraordinary event like North Korea or something, whether it's 3%, 5%, 2%, we're all going to find out here between now and the end of September. So you have to be developing a little bit of a buy list, because there's going to be, I think, another surge higher. And if this Dow ever gets through 23,000, of course, we didn't get that quite that high on the current up leg, but if it gets to that level, you really get an upward acceleration here. And despite all the quote-unquote news, bad news, fake news, real news coming out of Washington and so forth. There have been dramatic changes, and the economies are improving. And a lot of the steps that Trump has taken will be for the positive, and there's probably more coming, and including potential repatriation of foreign funds, which could drive stocks higher, and not to mention the potential tax breaks. So it may take a little time, but the market always looks forward to these events. So when we do get more of a correction here, and it could be, 500 to 1,000 more points in the Dow, I could see that as a possibility. Certainly you want to take advantage of that opportunity. Talking about opportunity, I want to remind you about our sponsor, Swiss America, and the opportunity to get 2 free books from them, The Secret War of Cash and Don't Bank on It. And if you'd like to get a free copy of those, and I encourage you to do so, I would call 800-289-2646. That's 1-800-289-2646 for a copy of The Secret War of Cash and Don't Bank on It. Really pleased that Swiss America is offering that. And you heard Michael Savage on the spot during the show talking about one of those books as well, which is, a great opportunity. Meanwhile, I want to thank all our guests for joining us. Jeff Freeland for joining us on the show. Kyle Dennis, and Jeff Bishop from RagingBull.com. Sinclair No, Harry Boxer, and of course Henry Weingarten and Arch Crawford for joining us on this Saturday morning. Every week, as you know, we close our show with what our old friend Ed Hart used to say on that Financial News Network way back in the 1980s, 1990s when I was a guest on those shows, and we're impressed with that closing statement, so we use it here every week. And it is, we will know in the fullness of time. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for listening to Wall Street Raw with nationally recognized market timer and previous Wall Street Week Elf, Mark Leibovit. If you missed any of today's show or to get in touch with Mark, please go to wallstreetrawradio.com. Any stocks or investment discussed on Wall Street Raw are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. We first recommend you seek out a licensed financial professional for advice. Go to wallstreetrawradio.com for more information on Mark's newsletters and products.
High-performance investors and traders use superior financial tools to achieve superior returns. You have that tool with Mark Leibovit, nationally renowned top market timer, legendary television Wall Street Week Elf, and nightly business report market monitor, who shares with you his unique market tools and commentary at wallstreetraw.com. At wallstreetraw.com, Mark provides you with his latest ideas on how to help build and protect your wealth and help you avoid the next big market crash. Mark has a special free gift for listeners of his Wall Street Raw radio show. Go to wallstreetraw.com and sign up for his free monthly Cannabis Vice News Raw report. While there, go ahead and sign up for his free monthly Gold News Raw report. Both are totally free. No credit card information is required. Sign up today for your free Cannabis Vice News Raw and Gold News Raw reports at wallstreetraw.com. That's wallstreetraw.com.
Bad theater seats, cheap Halloween masks, my apartment, all things with obstructed views. Add to these large trucks and buses. 18-wheelers and large buses have big blind spots, and like my apartment, they don't always have the best view. Bus and truck drivers deal with blind spots around the entire vehicle. Always take care not to ride alongside or too close behind them. Our roads, our responsibility. Learn more at sharetheroadsafely.gov.
If there's a toxic chemical, biological, gas smoke emergency while traveling at home or on your job, are you protected? Are you prepared? There are over 400,000 fires in the USA every year. Up to 85% of all deaths in a fire are due to smoke inhalation. 3 minutes without air and we as humans will die. Be prepared and escape safely with our Safe Escape smoke hoods, giving you up to 60 minutes of breathable air protection. Order yours online at ase-safety.com. That's ase-safety.com. And get up to 40% off plus free shipping.